Raptors fans, welcome into another edition of Raptors Today. Akil Augustine, Sherman Hamilton, the principal Paul Jones, and the story, of course, a 111-107 victory over the Washington Wizards, the lowly Washington Wizards, who surprised the Raptors, came out gunning with Super Kyle Kuzma. But the story on the Raptors side, of course, the performance of Pascal Siakam, a season-high 39 points, and people were worried about Pascal this year, right? They were like, does he fit into this new system? Is he on the same timeline as this group? And a game like that will do lots to bolster his confidence, but is this a sign of him finally figuring out his place, Jonesy, in this offense, or is this an outlier game that you can't read too much into?
I think he's still figuring out his place in the offense, but I think it got to a point in yesterday's game where you can just throw the offense out the window.
Yeah.
Pascal's got it going. Just everybody get out the way.
And that kind of is a good sign for him, too, that they kind of can rely on him in that way.
Yeah. And he saw mismatches. He saw, places where he could go to work. And it was, you know what? The offense has to wait. And I always laugh about this. People talked about, back in the day when Phil Jackson had the triple post and the triangle offense. And that was all well and good till it got to the fourth quarter.
In case of emergency, break glass, Jordan, or in this case, Siakam.
Yeah, they gave the ball to Kobe. They gave the ball to Michael. They gave the ball to the star. And that offense ceased to exist.
Yeah.
So the Raptors, I think they did a good job of getting Pascal into spots where he could go to work. And there are other times where he just said, I'm cooking. I'm gonna initiate and do this, and we'll see what comes of it. So it's good that you can throw it back and dial it back like that to something we've seen from Pascal before. But he's still, as the whole team is, finding their way in this offense. I just thought they did it a different way last night, which is really, really good to see.
So when you see a performance like that, Sherm, is the conversation now, how do we blend both of those styles? Because you saw it end the game. He put the defender in the box, got that little step fadeaway shot, and it was unstoppable.
Yeah, I think ultimately they want to figure out how to keep him playing closer to that level than not that level.
Yeah.
And it takes time with this new offense with Pascal, and he's too good to actually consider him not fitting into this offense. Right. He's a good player. He's a very good player. So he's going to figure it out. I think what happens in a game like that is there's moments in games I feel where you just kind of go with what's happening and you simplify everything. And that's the beauty of basketball. You don't have to overthink it. You beat a matchup, you play a matchup until it's stopped. They didn't stop it. So the Raptors were smart enough to just say, hey, let's not break something that's not broken. Go ahead, Pascal, take control, do what you're doing. And credit to the team. Nobody got in the way of it.
Yeah, get out of the way.
Everybody played their position and allowed Pascal to do what he does. So I just think games like that will happen. But, yes, to your point, it does help a guy like Pascal continue to acclimate himself, continue to get comfortable, and continue to understand where he fits in this new offense.
I see the stuff that happened yesterday. I can eventually see that within a greater framework of this new offense, as we talked about in the preseason, for Scotty, for Pascal, for people getting the right matchups. But yesterday they didn't have to run the offense to get the right matchups, or not extensively anyway. Pascal just said, I got this.
And let's be honest. Every matchup was the right matchup against the Wizards.
Yeah.
Let's keep it real.
In terms of firepower.
Everyone was the right matchup. Whoever was guarding Pascal, it was the right matchup against that roster.
And you got to exploit that, especially on a night when you're not getting your best from Schroeder. There's no OG. There's no Gary Trent.
Right.
So that's super important. But we got to talk about the bad side, because it can't all be good. When you're down 23 against a team that doesn't come in there striking fear in the hearts of most opponents, you got to ask, and this is something that's somewhat of a reputation for this Toronto Raptors squad. Sherman, I'll start with you on this one. What's up with these starts?
So until last night, the Raptors had won every first quarter at home.
At home.
So this was an aberration. This wasn't a regular thing for the Raptors. Now, we've heard it many times. The first game back from a long road trip is like the last game of the road trip.
Okay.
And the Raptors started like that. The first half, they were non-existent.
Yeah.
Washington got whatever they wanted. Kyle Kuzma got whatever he wanted. But once they settled in, they were different. So that start was not something we've seen from the Raptors at home. They're good at home in first quarter. So I don't look at that and say, well, this is a problem moving forward. I say this is a one-off against a team that came in on a back-to-back that made it look even worse that they didn't have more energy than them, and they figured it out down the stretch. Did they have to make it that difficult? No, but they did. But I don't think we look at that start and say
But we've seen the Raptors make it difficult on themselves in the past. San Antonio, an outlier game too.
To punctuate Sherman's point, over the season,
yeah,
the Raptors are a plus in the first quarter.
I think it was plus 26 going into
They're
last night.
They're a plus in the fourth quarter. Yeah. It's the middle two where they let down. And I just got the feeling in last night's game, it was in the game in Boston, they were broken down on the dribble. And I don't know if it was part of it was, the spacing of people like Porzingis and the others on the perimeter where guys were able to the one-on-one matchups are so difficult to defend in the NBA these days because of the rules, because of the way the game is going. And they were broken down on the dribble. I felt Washington came in and looked at that and said, we're going to try to do some of that too. And as we saw, Kuzma kind of got off. And then water found its level. Things corrected themselves. And the further the Raptors got behind, the more reckless urgency they played with to try and catch up. Everybody was trying to get it back all at once. It's like, hold on a second. It's only the first half. And you could see that in the third quarter when they cut the lead to like 15 from 23. It was like, okay, here they come. And all of a sudden it'd go back up to 19. But you could feel the energy, the urgency, the intensity shift in the game. And I always say this about confidence in a basketball game, right? Zero-sum entity. When one team has a lot, the other team has a little. And by the end, Washington was trying to balance the ball on a teacup, and Toronto was Pascal was throwing it in the ocean.
All right, well, it's time to check in with the head coach of the Toronto Raptors, and that is Darko Rajakovic, and hopefully a lot less F-bombs in postgame.
When you're looking at the film after a game like that, do you spend more time on the things that maybe went wrong in the first half or some of the things that went right in the second half, or is it sort of a mix of both?
It's a mix of both. It's always a good opportunity to see why did we fail, why we didn't do a better job in the first half, and what was our success in the second half. What was the formula for us to be successful? And today I did not show any film. Today was our 10 games analytics meetings that we covered all the stuff analytically that we are doing well, areas that we need to improve. So we addressed those things today, and those go hand to hand with our style of play of both ends of the floor.
From that standpoint, are there any big surprises after 10 games from what you expected going into the season? Analytics?
I thought that first 5-6 games we didn't do a good job of defensive rebounding. We're doing a better job with that now. I think turnovers, we still turn the ball over way too much. We got to do a better job with that. And when you think about our transition defense is not great, and when you analyze it why it's not great, the reason is our turnovers and then some missed. Not even open shots, it's missed layups, missed dunk opportunities. And even last night we had a couple of missed dunks that led in easy layups on the other side. But at the same time, we're the best team in the league at touching the paint. We're second best team with potential assists, though all of those are positives. We just got to continue building on those and be ready to make some shots.